Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Wayne's World of Mandolin. There was a little live 3TO for you from a few years back. I think that's from the Strawberry Festival in Connecticut. I'm pretty sure that's what I remembered seeing. I found that video right here on YouTube and wanted to put that right on the front so that we kind of have context with this solo that we're going to talk about today. Before we move on, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I invite you to do that. Turn on notifications so you know everything that's coming out here. We're going to jump right in on this Bill Monroe classic, one of these tunes that we all love, and this is part of my theme that I kind of have going with these bluegrass standards, that we make these bigger than just the song that we're learning, so that we do, as I like to say, move the needle on our overall journey of playing the mandolin and not make it exclusively just about that one song, which we sure want to play. We want to learn from all these solos. This is a standard, but it's not necessarily one of the tunes that gets called out in jam sessions, especially if you have a four-piece jam session going on, because this one's very dependent on fiddle. There's just this one back half of a solo that we think of in the real arrangement of the tune with Bill Monroe's version. He wrote this tune. I'm sure you guys know about his Uncle Pen. If you're not very aware of that, you should research it and make yourself aware of it. You should do that on your own. It's important to kind of dig in to the history of these tunes, and it'll make you feel good about it. It'll make you feel connected to the music. So this is a fun break to play. The big picture here, the big thing that I think comes from this solo is playing the mandolin the way Monroe did at times. But mostly, I think I had one upstroke with the pick in that particular lick that I just played, but playing all down with the pick, that can be such an effective way to achieve dynamics, as long as the tempo of the song that we're playing really works well. Once it gets to a certain point, even if you're able to physically execute it, it's just not as cool once you get past a certain tempo. Some of the versions of Uncle Pen are kind of like they're too fast for this to really be effective, but you can see from that video on the front that that's really the theme of this whole break, and I'm following pretty closely what I remember hearing Monroe play on this. I think from some of the earlier versions of live shows that I've heard, it starts in to the D chord. When it goes to the A, after playing the D double stop here, the F sharp and the D note, then we have this shape at the 5th and the 7th fret. You'll recognize those intervals. If you're playing an A arpeggio, now we're playing the 5 and the root note. And the spirit of that, now we're going to a double A. We have an open A string and then the 5th fret on the E string. We're probably a little more used to playing that double note type of approach here, playing an A note on the 7th fret of the D string. This, we're going higher. You may recognize that pull on or pull off and hammer on lick there from Bluegrass Special, one of Monroe's instrumentals. But this lick, that's probably the hardest part of this solo to execute, because of this right hand moving down with the direction of the pick every note that I'm playing. There's the Bluegrass Special lick. So I'm starting on that C note and then hammer on from the B note up to the C and then pull off. Then land on an E note with the A and the E strings open. And then my favorite phrase of this Now here's where we could think about, again, an arpeggio. If you were playing A, you would have an A major 7, down to an A7, that G note. And when I play that first, again, down, I'm playing a parallel 5th there, and I'm even flirting with the open A and E strings, hopefully, because it sounds so big. And so you want to leave this finger down instead of letting those notes go away. You want that to sustain as long as it can as you play through the rest of the lick. And it can be tough to execute. When I get to that point, you can still hear the sustain on this A note and E note, 2nd fret of the G and D strings. Look how we have that bluegrass special phrase again. Again, I think I had one upstroke with the pick there on an A string. But I do not recommend trying to play the right hand exactly to what's coming out for me, because this feels natural for me. The spirit of how Monroe sounded playing those all down. You're better off to think of it as trying to somewhat copy that delivery and that power and the authority that he played with. You're better off to try to capture that than to think you're going to play exactly what he played. I'm not sure anyone can really do that and make it their own. If you were just playing the solo exactly like him, you could hear people pull that off, but it doesn't have the feel or the spirit that his version of it did. So that's a bigger thing to me than playing exactly the same notes, because bluegrass is founded on creativity. It was something radically different when it started. So I think some of that kind of spirit has to be a part of your delivery for it to really be believable. But we absolutely do want to learn from these standards, and this is a great one to really work on all down direction. I've found this to be very effective playing with third time out. A lot of the bluegrass that we do would not lend itself to like a full-on Bill Monroe approach, but I can certainly get by it just using this particular technique of all down as a way to make a statement musically that fits with the more modern flavor of bluegrass that we play. So there's this solo. Let me try to get through it at a slow tempo. Okay, I hope that this can help. I hope that you get the big picture that we're playing all down. I'm going to put the 3TO version back in one more time here on the end of the video so that we have that context of this being executed with a band and with a groove to play it against and all that. I hope you guys enjoy.
I'll never forget that.